here we are again with the 450. The last thing I did on the 450 was change the front shock absorbers. That was in the hope of finding the creak. When I turn corners, the car sort of creaks. And anyway, the other day I was looking at the engine shock absorbers and I pulled one off. This is the left hand one, and as you can see, it's stuffed. So I'm going to change the engine shocks today, and I'll just show you how to do it. It's quite simple. This will be a short one. Okay, this is on the right hand side of the car. First thing we've got to do is take off the water bottle yet again. I've had this water bottle off so many times, it's a wonder it hasn't worn out. So I'll just take that off. Okay, down here is your engine shock here, and what we've got to do is undo that nut at the top. You might have to get a pair of pliers or multi-grips to hold the shank of the shocker down there and undo this nut at the top. That was a 10mm nut, by the way, that I took out just here. Now the next thing we've got to do is down in there, I don't know if you can see it, is the engine mount bolt. Oh yes, I'll put the light back in there. See, just there, I'll zoom in. There it is. We've got to undo that bolt, and then we take out the bracket that holds the engine shock. That's a 20mm bolt, by the way, down there. Socket fits, that is. 20mm socket on that engine mount. You can get at it by putting a couple of extensions together, and it's easier than trying to get it from underneath the car. You need the car up on stands to perform this exercise. Okay, this is the right hand one. It's not as stuffed as the left hand one, but it's still pretty stuffed. Now we're going to put our new little shocks on the same way as this one is. It actually pushes from the bottom, and yeah. Well, I've put the right hand one back on the car. It's pretty easy, but there's a little bit of confusion with these rubbers. The rubbers come as a separate kit to the shocks, and there's different brands, and invariably had to use one of the old rubbers, pick the best of the worst. They're just so thick you cannot get them on in position like here. And in the course of putting on the little shock, the heat shield broke. So no heat shield on the right hand side. Now this is the easy one. You can get your hand in down here, and that's alright. So that one's on, minus heat shield. I'll show you the other side of the engine. Right, this is the left hand side of the engine. Down there is where the shock goes, and the engine mount is down yonder there. I'll put a bit of light on it. There's a bolt there still, so I'm going to take that bolt out and try and put this bracket on. The trouble is, this one you can't get your hands in anywhere. Got the power steering at the front and everything. You can't get your hands down in there. You have to get underneath the car and push it up, and have someone up the top to put a nut up here. So I'll be waiting for my assistant to come home. Anyway, that's how you change these little engine shocks. I'll take it for a run when I finish, and I'll just do a report whether it makes any difference or not. Well, I took the car for a drive. It runs rather smoother, but that could be my imagination anyway. But it'd have to run smoother, seeing that both of the shockers were worn out, the engine shockers that is. Still got my creak, a little creak going on there. So it's going to be one of those ones where I just have to wait and see what happens when it becomes a moan or a groan, and then track it down. Anyway, that's the engine shockers.